My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is a show about 6 ponies with different values and talents that they share with each other and with the world. A concept known as the magic of friendship. Despite their flaws, they learn from their mistake while growing closer together, which makes their bond stronger. However, there are moments in the show where the characters experience emotional breakdowns due to stress or frustration, often caused by misunderstanding or others' actions. The situation can cause a pony or even another creature to lose control of their actions and react with anger. There are also situations when the reactions were totally justified according to fans, and there is a lot of them.
Happy! Happy!
Hello, welcome to my new channel. I am Sugar Cube 22, and today I'm going to show the top 15 of My Little Pony reasonable crashouts. Number 15. The CMCs getting mad at their older sisters for being inconsistent the entire episode. Season 6, episode 14. The card before the pony starts with an episode where the Crusaders, along with the other fillies and colts from Ponyvilles, are giving a school project to build a card for a race competition. Mr. Lee, who oversees the event, offers the 3 prizes for whoever creates the best cards based on speed, tradition, and creativity. The Crusaders are very excited about the event. Abaloo wants to win the prize for the fastest card, Sweetie Belle hopes to win the prize for the most traditional one, and Skulu for the most creative one. However, each filly and colt must be accompanied by an older pony. The girls decide to work with their older sister, AJ, Rainbow Dash, and Rarity. Unfortunately, this turned out to be a disaster because of the older pony's behavior. AJ, Rarity, and Rainbow Dash started treating the project as if it were their own, even though they were supposed to help the CMCs. During the competition, the Crusaders finally had enough of their sister's behavior after the race was completely ruined, and they decided to snap at them.
They're not your cars! Huh? We were supposed to design them. And we were supposed to drive them! The derby was supposed to be for us, not the 3 of you! Now you've ruined it for every pony!
Yup, they got what they deserved. Number 14. Rainbow Dash being brutally honest to Starlight, Season 6, Episode 21. This episode introduced Starlight Glimmer, a small but very powerful unicorn who becomes Princess Twilight's pupil. She is given a friendship lesson to compete, spending time with each member of the main 5 while Twilight is a guest speaker for no representation in Conchalot. Unfortunately, the situation becomes too complicated for Starlight, so she hides in the library and finds a spell that she accidentally cast on the main 5. She ends up brainwashing them, and each of the bears begin acting like obedient robots. Later, when Starlight apologizes for her mistake while meeting the main 5 at the cafe, Rainbow Dash, who's the most fierce of all of them, gives her an important lesson about friendship.
Well, here's a friendship lesson for ya. Don't cast spells on your friends!
What do you guys think? I thought this scene was amazing. Rainbow was 100% correct. Starlight always uses her magic to solve every little problem, and that's what's wrong with her. Number 13, Fluttershy raising her voice at AJ, Season 8, Episode 23. Fluttershy and AJ are called by the map to solve a friendship problem in a place called the Peaks of Pearl, where a group of Kirins live. The Kirins are known for their kindness and honesty. Well, that explains why these 2 were invited by the maps. While the 2 ponies are traveling to the friendship mission, AJ snaps at Fluttershy for slowing them down because she stopped to help some squirrels. The Shy Pegasus tries to explain herself to AJ, but she doesn't listen. Eventually, Fluttershy snaps back.
We're on a friendship quest, remember?
Yes, but actually...
Come on! We're burning daylight!
I know, but what I found out is that...
Now we gotta get up that peak! I figured if we use some rope and elbow grease, we can make it up half...
Applejack! Can you please listen to me?
Remember guys, Fluttershy is the element of kindness, not patience. If you underestimate her, she might as well show you her true bad side. Number 12, Season 4, Episode 18, Dash being angry over Mud's game. So in this episode, we see the very first appearance of Pinkie Pie's older sister, Mud Pie, who she loves very much. Pinkie introduced her to her friends, but things quickly become awkward since Mud is the type of pony who shows little to no emotion and does not talk very much. Later on the episode, Mud suggests playing a game with the main six. They must find her pet, a rock named Boulder. Everyone spends the entire day digging through the dirt, surrounded by other rocks, trying to find him. The game seems very unpleasant and boring for Pinkie's friends. In the end, Mud finds Boulder, only to realize that he was in her pocket the entire time.
Oh, come on!
Rainbow Dash couldn't hold back her frustration and loses her temper.
We spent all day digging in the dirt, and he was in her pocket the whole time? On the bright side, Boulder seemed really sweet. He's a rock!
Most fans thought she was a little harsh, but come on, spending an entire day looking for a rock that was in someone's pocket the entire time sounds terrible to me. I would definitely pass on that game. That was a valid crash out. Number 11, Season 7, Episode 2, Starlight being mad at Trixie's behavior. Starlight gets off to a very good start while spending the time with her friends, the great and powerful Trixie. She teaches Trixie how to cast spells such as teleportation and transforming teacups. Everything seems wholesome at first until Trixie casts the spells on Twilight's map and make it disappear. Starlight is devastated, thinking that she will lose Princess Twilight's trust forever. At the same time, she feels a little anger towards Trixie, who seems to think that she could get away with anything, even after making Twilight's map disappear. Instead of telling Trixie how she truly feels, Starlight decides to cast a strange spell to hide her emotion, which only leads to chaos. By the time she finally talks to Trixie about her true feelings, everything comes spurred at once.
Really mad at you. You lost Twilight's map table. You make jokes like it's no big deal. It's like you don't even care. You could get me in a lot of trouble. If we can't find that table, Twilight's never going to trust me again. And the worst part is, you didn't even say you were sorry!
Yes, guys, we all had a friend like Trixie. Number 10. Season 2, Episode 19. Flutter Rage telling a losing mare to get back in the line where she belongs. Fluttershy in a bad size again. In this episode, the shy pony has to learn how to be more assertive. She joins a motivational speaker named Iron Will, who teaches every pony not to be pushovers. Let's just say this did not go very well for the beloved Fluttershy, as she became super rude and cruel towards everyone, especially the closest friends Pinkie and Rarity. However, there's that one scene when My Little Pony fans believe her reaction was justified. While she was waiting in line at Shiba Cube Corner, another mare suddenly cuts in front of her on purpose. The yellow Pegasus cannot tolerate the disrespect, so she decides to stand up for herself and put the blue pony in her place.
Now go to the back of the line where you belong!
Yes, we all congratulated Fluttershy in this scene. Number 9. Rarity telling Prince Blueblood off about his disgraceful behavior. Season 1, Episode 26. One evening, Twilight, Spike, and the rest of the main six are supposed to spend the night at the Grand Galloping Gala. Each character had a different idea of fun. Twilight the nerd wanted to spend time with her mentor. Pinkie Pie wanted to throw a party. Rainbow Dash wants to meet the Wonderbolt. Fluttershy hopes to spend time with the animals. And Rarity? She is set on meeting a prince who turned out to be very different from the stallion of her dreams. The unicorn stallion, Prince Blueblood, was a total pain for Rarity. He was such a self-centered and narcissist pony. First, their interaction was awkward since he picks a rose that Rarity think he'll give to her, but he keeps it for himself. Second, during the gala, they come across a dirty Pat, and the prince insists that Rarity uses her beautiful scarf so they can continue walking. Third, Prince Blueblood disrespects Applejack by spitting out her apple fritters, He even used Rarity as a shield to protect himself from a large cake. This is where Rarity finally have enough of his unpleasant behavior and snaps at him.
You, sir, are the most uncharming prince I have ever met. In fact, the only thing royal about you is that you are a royal pain.
Ew! Stay back! I just had myself groomed!
Afraid to get dirty?
In the same episode, we also had that one iconic Fluttershy going wild. But yeah, she was a meme. But that crash out, I would not say that it was reasonable, because she kept harassing these innocent animals who just wanted to be left alone. At number 8, we have Pinkie Pie getting furious after Applejack broke the Pinkie promise on season 2, episode 14. Hands down, this has to be the funniest crash out on the list. Now, this episode begins with our girl AJ getting the opportunity to compete in a rodeo competition in order to win the prize money to help fix Ponyville's town hall. Her friends and family plan to organize a party to celebrate her return to Ponyville. However, they suddenly receive a message from Applejack saying that she would not be coming back. Her friends suspect that she might be in danger, so they travel far and wide to find her. When they finally do, AJ refuses to explain why she won't return home because she's afraid of their judgment. Pinkie Pie, Rainbow, and the others come up with a plan to convince Applejack to tell the truth. The farm pony eventually makes a Pinkie promise that she will explain everything the next day. However, when they arrive at her hotel room, AJ is nowhere to be found. Pinkie Pie becomes extremely furious and almost explodes since no one ever breaks a Pinkie promise. She runs after AJ, who is later found on a train station. Number 7, Season 7, Episode 23, Pinkie calling out Rainbow Dash for lying over pies. 2 Pinkie Pie crash outs in a row. So the pink pony shows her true friendship and care for Rainbow by giving her pies on every occasion she desires. One day, Rainbow Dash had a 73rd training session with the Wonderbolt, so the party pony decides to make her the perfect pie with 73 ingredients. Yikes, 73 ingredients. Later, after giving the pie to the Rainbow Pegasus, she finds the same cake that she gave to her in the garbage that was about to be taken. Poor Pinkie panics, so she decides to be on an investigation after searching different information from different ponies such as the Wonderbolt, the Ponyville Vet, Mr. Lee, and Applejack. Pinkie Pie works her ass off to make the numbers of pies of different flavors possible to see if Dash is going to eat them or trim them out. This episode stinks. This gets more serious when Pinkie Pie organizes a pie party and gives her a lemon pie, only to find out that she didn't eat it and lie to her for so many years.
I can't take it! Everything okay, Pinkie? No! Everything is not okay! You hate my pies! You know exactly what I'm talking about! I saw what you did. Well, I didn't see what you did, but I know that you've been fake eating my pies! You threw away the pie I made for your 73rd Wonderbolt training session, and I know you secretly somehow got rid of all the other pies I gave you! Admit it! That's crazy! What do you think I did? Somehow make them all disappear into thin air? Okay, so maybe I made one of them disappear into thin air. How could you? What? I just wanted to share these amazing pies with the folks of Cloudsdale. So I was trying to send them up via balloon mail. I don't want to hear it!
Yes, Pinkie Pie, you better tell her. Like, why couldn't Rainbow Dash ask for another dessert if she hates pie so much? You guys have been friends for so many years, and you can't even tell Pinkie Pie you don't like pie? You already hurt her ass anyway. Number 6, Season 5, Episode 21, Twilight's Meltdown at the Library. Let's be honest with you guys, this is an episode of My Little Pony that I probably won't watch again because of how mean-spirited it is. Every pony in this episode is so unlikable, and Discord's jokes are not even funny. Oh, probably because I wasn't there with them. The only thing I like about it is Starlight spying on them. Imagine spending 3 days cleaning your library, finally getting to see your friends after a long weekend, only to find out that they spent all their time with the Lord of Chaos, making inside jokes without you. It felt strange because every time Twilight and Spike got to visit one of their friends, they end up in the same situation. Everyone is laughing with Discord, and they're rubbing in Twilight's face that she should have been there. To be fair, it was nice to see the other ponies bonding with Discord, especially since they did not get along with him very well after his reformation. However, Discord is everywhere, constantly teasing Twilight and calling her glum for not joining them, even though she keeps saying that she's happy that they had a good time together. This episode tries to portray Twilight Sparkle as the bitter one, but what do you accept? After being told over and over that you're just jealous for not attending, I mean, everyone will react the same. That being said, Twilight is not completely innocent either. Instead of moving on, she tries to recreate the experience and outshine Discord by using a strange pink potion to force her friends to react. The Bay5 clearly does not enjoy her behavior, and they accuse her of antagonizing Discord. Speaking of, Discord, he suddenly shows off dressed as a fisherman with his hooves stuck in jars of peanut butter, and once again everyone joins the joke at Twilight's expense. At that point, the eloquent princess finally loses her temper.
Still not funny. It's funny if you were there. But I wasn't there. I wasn't included. Maybe it's my own fault for staying in and having a book sortation when I could have been making jokes and memories and having a great time with my friends. But I didn't do that, did I? You all did. You were all there, but...
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
Here we are now at the top 5. Now at number 5, we have poor Trixie reacting to Starlight selling her home. Say what you want about Trixie, but her outburst in this episode was totally justified. It begins with her and Starlight going on a girls' trip to a place in Equestria called Saudi Arabia to perform. They decide to travel in Trixie's wagon. The magician is very excited while her assistant feels uncomfortable due to the lack of space. It was filled with too many accessories. When they arrive in Saudi Arabia, the great and powerful Trixie reminds Starlight of the rules they set for the trip, such as spending their saved money wisely. That night, Starlight is still bothered by the cramped space in the wagon. Trixie, on the other hoof, cannot stand Starlight's loud snoring, so she brings it up. They manage to solve the problem and go back to sleep. However, Trixie then started stalking in her sleep, which annoys Starlight.
Seriously? Prepared for you, Maze.
The next day, both unicorns are tired and start acting irritated with each other. Trixie gets upset when Starlight eats the last hay cake, and Starlight gets upset when Trixie finishes the juice while she's still thirsty. Their relationship continued to deteriorate, which became clear during their performance in front of the audience in Saudi Arabia. During their second night, they keep arguing about food, drinks, and sleep. At the end of the argument, Trixie leaves the wagon to Starlight since she cares so much about space, and decides to sleep under the stars, thinking that at least the animals will be quieter. The next morning, Trixie realizes that her wagon is gone. Starlight later admits that she traded it with another blue unicorn styling, whose name I forgot. Let's see, his name is, Hufar. Sorry if I don't pronounce his name well. Yeah, she admitted that she traded with that stallion with a huge smile in her face. Trixie cannot believe what happened, and she burst into tears.
Au contraire, I did give something away. I gave away my wagon and my best friend.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were better friends with that beat-up old wagon than you are with me.
Well, it's easy when the wagon is a better friend. It would have never traded you away.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, it is ridiculous. In fact, this whole tour is ridiculous. I don't even know why I invited you in the first place.
Well, maybe I should just head home.
I think that's a very good idea. And you can take this horrible giant caravan with you.
Fine!
Good!
Starlight, you know I love you, but what the hell were you thinking? Trading your friend's shelter without telling her how she truly feels? She is completely wrong, especially for someone who has learned so many lessons about friendship. Come on, Starlight. You're better than this. This was so out of character for her. Number 4, Season 2, Episode 18. Poor Cranky just wanted some personal space. Cranky is a male donkey who just moved to Ponyville to reunite with his friend Matilda. Pinkie Pie, who is friendly with everyone, is the first pony to greet him. He doesn't seem too excited at first, perhaps he's simply busy. The pink mare keeps trying to impress him so he will become her friend, since she wants to be friends with every pony. Out of nowhere, Pinkie Pie pours cake batter all over Cranky, causing him to lose his wig. She finds it but mistakes it for a spider and stomps on it. She then tries to apologize by taking him to the spa and offering a new wig for him, which he accepts. At this point, we might think that this will be enough to satisfy Pinkie Pie, but oh boy were we wrong about this. She barges into his new home and starts touching his belongings. Then she finds a photo album and tries to ask him about it, but accidentally burns it with a light. Seeing the damage, Cranky finally loses its temper.
There! All better?
No, not all better, all soggy!
I'm sorry, Cranky.
Oh, you're sorry. Well, then everything is fine.
It is?
No, it isn't! Listen to me, kid. I will never be your friend.
Never or never ever?
Never, ever, 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 ever!
It might seem harsh, but honestly, none of this would have happened if Pinkie Pie just left the guy alone. He already acknowledged her, so what more did she want from him? Cranky clearly just wants to be left in peace. Pinkie.
Tower! 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 Tower!
Number 3, Season 7, Episode 7, Rainbow Dash's locker scene. Man, I would love to write a whole resume of why I absolutely despise this episode. But I can't, because now it is the time to make an analysis of why Rainbow Dash's crash out was valid. God, I absolutely hate the way she was antagonized. She was portrayed as the villain when she wasn't! And I'm pretty sure everyone who watched this episode agrees with me. School meets Rainbow Dash's parents, Bo Hothoof and Windy Whistles, to learn more about the pony she idolized for her school project. She then tells them that she's a huge fan of their daughter and wants to know more about her childhood in Cloudsdale. The Roundabout's parents invite her to their house and School starts taking many photos. Many embarrassing photos. Later, School asks them about Rainbow Dash's experience with the Wonderbolt, but they seem confused. She then tells Bo and Windy that their daughter became a Wonderbolt not long ago, which they had no idea about. If you saw this episode, you already know why. Later on the episode, School brings them to the Wonderbolt Academy where Rainbow Dash's trains. Suddenly, the Wonderbolts hear screams coming from Rainbow Dash's parents. The two proudly cheer and loudly brag about their daughter, which embarrasses Dash. Later, the Blue Pegasus performs again with Spitfire and the others in Counterlot. Sulu invites his Rainbow Dash's parents as well as our two friends to watch the show. However, our overly supportive parents decide to bring fireworks to the performance, which goes too far and could have easily injured someone. And you're telling me Rainbow Dash is the fucking villain in this episode? What? Excuse my language. Throughout the entire episode, they continue to act over the top. Finally, in the locker room scene, they were even cheering up for her for just holding up a towel. Rainbow Dash is snap and tells Emma about their behavior.
Tower! Tower!
Stop! This is ridiculous! Mom and Dad, you are both too supportive! This is exactly why I didn't tell you I was a Wonderbolt! You're just too much! Yes! The fireworks, the cheerleading, and how do you even compare who is better or worse at hanging
Just trying to be supportive.
Well, I'm tired of it! I've had enough of you two being so proud of every little ridiculous, insignificant thing I do! I think you should leave.
First of all, why is Riverdale the bad guy in this episode? I mean, yes, she yelled at the parents, she made them cry, but come on. They brought fireworks to the show and that they had behind the Wonderbolts, which easily could have hurt some pony. They love to show off embarrassing photos of Rainbow when she was a baby, which are unnecessary. And they can't even respect Rainbow Dash's boundaries. How is she the bad guy? Don't even get me started on school. She has the audacity to blame Rainbow when none of this would have happened if she respected her private life. She was being a whole stalker. I mean, why didn't she just tell Rainbow that she had, she could have informed her about her project and asked her if she could meet her parents, but no, she was acting like a complete dumbass. But she's just a kid, I don't care. It annoys me how Rainbow was the only one who ended up apologizing. Number 2, Season 7, Episode 22. Twilight throwing a fit because of her family vacation being ruined. The best princess is supposed to have a great vacation on a cruise with her family, including her older brother, her parents, her sister-in-law, and her niece. Sounds fun, right? Not really, because it does not turn out the way she expected. Everything is fine at first, until the organizer decides to make the entire cruise about Twilight and Cadence, since they are the only 2 eloquent princesses present. Oh, we have Flurry Heart too, but she's a baby. The Princess of Friendship has had enough and goes to confront the one who's in charge, who turns out to be Aaron Will. Twilight makes a deal with him, who claims that he wants to provide a high-quality vacation experience for all guests. The deal is that Twilight and Cadence will have to entertain the other ponies with princess activities so that their families can have some free time. If Twilight and the others refuse, Aaron Will would threaten to cancel the entire cruise, which is completely absurd. This comeback, Aaron Will takes things even further by offering a prize to a random pony the chance of spending time with Twilight's entire family. And by the way, he has never told Twi about this prize. The winner was a teenage stallion named Star Tracker, and let me tell you guys, he was such a weirdo. Twilight is forced to sacrifice her entire free time just to entertain others, which feels completely unfair. The moment she was looking for was to watch the fireworks with her family, but she ends up missing it. Overwhelmed, she bursts into tears. When her family finally comes to see her, she loses her composure and she snaps.
Oh, yeah. The cruise ponies are happy, my family is happy, even Iron Will is happy. You know who isn't happy? Me! Oh, my hoof! I'm sorry, but maybe that wouldn't have happened if you weren't practically standing on my tail. Not even my real family stands so close.
Damn, how many times has Twilight being mistreated in the show? First we have that royal wedding episode, now we have the What About Discord episode, and now we have this? It's crazy how she saved Equestria multiple times. They don't want to put respect in her name. So, before revealing the number 1 spot of the most reasonable crash out, let's get to the honorable mentions.
Cutie marks make you special!
By putting you in a special little box!
Special! Do it! Say, you gotta share, you gotta care. It's the right thing to do, you gotta share. Every pony has unique talents and gifts, and when we share them with each other, that's how we—
Quiet! What makes you think you're so special? Like the rules of common courtesy don't apply to you? Why don't you pick on someone your own side?
Aw, come on!
Number 1, Season 4 finale. Twilight exploding after Tirek destroyed her library. Well, to begin with, in the Twilight's Kingdom episode, Princess Celestia, Luna, and Cadence decide to transfer their magic to Twilight in order to protect it from Lord Tirek. He is described as a purely evil creature who once tried to steal equestrian magic to become more powerful. In the present, Tirek returns to seek revenge, unaware that there is a fourth princess. Discord, the Lord of Chaos, decides to team up with him and reveals the existence of Princess Twilight. By doing so, Discord betrays Equestria, including the main six, Spike, and the other princesses, while Tirek absorbs the magic of Twilight's friends to grow stronger. Later on the episode, Twilight tries to train herself to control all of the magic she has been given. Tirek eventually confronts her and challenges her to battle, demanding that she gives up all of her magic. Twilight teleports to her old library, and this is where things truly escalate. Using all of his powers, Tirek destroys her home, leaving the library completely ruined. Seeing her home reduced to nothing pushes Twilight to her limits. This becomes a moment to shine, as she expresses her anger and determination without saying a single word.
Now I understand what your fellow princesses have done.
This was to me the most reasonable crash out in the entire list. She unleashes the power of all the princesses in an epic battle against Tirek. This fight scene would always be legendary. So this was it for my top 15 most reasonable crash outs. Do you agree with my list? What was the most valid crash out in your opinion? Comment, subscribe, and share. Part 2 is coming soon.